So if you've ever tried to build a really powerful automation between Notion and Zapier, you have almost certainly hit a wall, a really, really frustrating wall. Well, today we are going to smash right through it. We're going to uncover a powerful workaround that unlocks a whole new level of efficiency.
Okay, let's get into it. Here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about Notion's big automation roadblock. Then we are going to find the key to unlocking the API, and we'll build the 4-step Zap that fixes everything. After that, we'll explore the new superpowers this gives you, and finally, get you thinking about what you're going to build with all this.
All right, let's start by digging into the problem itself. For anyone who's really serious about automating their workflow, this has been a huge nagging limitation for a long time. And honestly, I don't think anything captures it better than this comment from the community.
This right here, from the Zapier forums, it just says it all, doesn't it? You can use Zapier to create a new page in a Notion database, no problem. But trying to automatically link that new page to an item in another database using that all-important relation property? Nope. That has been the big recurring obstacle.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Your standard no-code Zapier if action. It can handle almost anything else. Text, numbers, dates, you name it. But when it comes to the relation property, which is arguably the most powerful tool for connecting all your information in Notion, it just hits a brick wall. It leaves this huge gaping hole in our automated workflows.
But what if there was a way to just bypass this limitation completely? What if there was a kind of secret passageway?
Well, there is. The solution, which was originally laid out by Notion expert William Nutt, is to stop trying to talk to Notion through Zapier's regular user interface. Instead, we're going to speak directly to Notion in its own language. We're going to access the Notion API, that's just the application programming interface, basically a set of rules for how different apps can talk to each other, and we're going to do it using a special tool that's already built right inside Zapier.
Now, to use this secret passageway, we're going to need a special key. Notion calls this an internal integration token. You can basically think of it like a password that you create specifically for this one automation, giving it permission to get in there and work its magic on your behalf. And generating this key is super easy. It's a quick one-time setup inside your Notion settings. You just go to your integrations page, tell it to create a new one, copy that secret token it gives you, and then, and this part's really important, you have to share the Notion pages that your databases are on with that new integration. That is the first critical step.
Okay, so we've got our special key. We are now ready to build the exact 4-step Zap that will finally let us automatically link our Notion databases. So here's the 30,000-foot view of the workflow. The first step is our trigger. In this example, it's a webhook, which is really just a fancy way for apps to send automated messages to each other when something new happens. After that, we use standard Zapier actions to create an item in our first database, and then find the item we want to link it to in our second database. And then we get to that final 4th step, using code by Zapier, and that is where all the real power is unlocked. And I'm not just being dramatic. William Nutt, the expert who first laid out this whole method, he literally called this step where the magic happens. Because as you're about to see, this one little action completely changes the game. So in this final code by Zapier step, you'll pick the Run JavaScript option. Now, don't worry, you don't need to write any code yourself. You just paste in a little snippet that's already been written for you. But you do need to feed it these 4 pieces of info: the ID of the new page you just created, the exact name of your relation property, the ID of the page you want to link to, and of course, that secret token you generated a few minutes ago. So look, the most important thing to get here is that this isn't just some niche fix for a form submission. Now that you know how to connect any 2 database items automatically, what does this actually unlock for you in the real world? Okay, imagine this. You're in a meeting. You jot down a brilliant idea for some new content. With this technique, you could have a button on that meeting page that, when you press it, instantly creates a new entry on your content calendar, automatically relates it back to that specific client, generates all your subtasks, and even creates a Google Drive folder for the project. One click, that's it. The whole thing is done. Or what about invoicing? I mean, this is a game changer. Instead of manually creating invoices in some other app, you can have a button right in your Notion project tracker that says Create and Send Invoice. It pulls all the project details, it generates the invoice in Stripe, and then, and this is the key, it updates the original Notion page with a live invoice ID and a direct link. This automates the entire feedback loop, saving you hours of boring admin work.
So, with all this incredible potential just sitting there, I bet you're itching to start building. But before you dive in, let's just quickly cover one common little snag that can trip people up. I want to make sure you get this working on your very first try. If you follow all the steps perfectly, but that last code step fails and gives you a weird syntax error, don't panic. It's not you. You have almost certainly run into the single most common issue that catches people out. Okay, pay very, very close attention to this slide. It's a tiny detail, but it is absolutely critical. The code snippet requires backticks. You know, that slanted character usually near the top left of your keyboard. Not the standard single quotes. The code that got shared in the Zapier community forum accidentally used single quotes. As the community figured out, just swapping them for the correct backticks makes all the difference. So the big takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. When the standard, easy-to-use tools hit a limit, you can almost always break past them by just going one level deeper. By using Code by Zapier, you're not just clicking buttons anymore. You are sending direct commands to Notion's API, and that unlocks its full, unfiltered potential. And that just opens up a whole new world, right? You can now build these truly interconnected, instant automations that were just flat out impossible before. So I guess the only question left is, what's the first repetitive, tedious task in your own workflow that you are going to completely eliminate?